Hello and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. Again, your host, Keith Weissite. Thanks so much for joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it. And you know me, I love when our set gets so much better looking. This is certainly one of those times. As we welcome back to the show, Dr. Christine Strickland. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
All right, very good. And we'll give the qualification for why it's so important for you being here in just a moment. Sitting next to her, Catherine Gilbertario. Catherine, thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having us today.
Very cool. Let's talk about the Women's Business Alliance and the Athena Awards that were given out and the importance of that.
Absolutely. Well, the Women's Business Alliance of the Bayou region
Right.
annually gives out this leadership award. It is the Athena Award. And the aim of it is to celebrate women or men. It could be, the recipient could be a man,
Right.
who works not only to be at the top of his or her profession, but then also works to mentor and bring women along with.
Right.
And so in this manner, it really helps to build our community, you know, all those who are out there in the workforce who are really looking after each other's careers in
Right.
this way. And so the Athena Award looks to celebrate that. We've been giving the award out now since 2003.
Yep. 20 years now.
Yes, it has been. And it's
exciting.
we had a wonderful time the other night with all of our ladies,
Right.
our recipients.
Right.
This year's Athena Award winner is Dr. Christine Strickland.
Right.
And we also had two other,
What a great picture, by the way.
yes,
That's a keeper.
Very photogenic. Right. Yeah. And so we also had a couple more other ones.
so we
right?
had some other nominees for the award as well this year. Bernadette Pickett, who is Assistant District Attorney
Yep.
for Terrebonne Parish, as well as everybody's favorite twins, Cherry and Sherry Wilmore.
Right.
All the ladies were well qualified, and the decision of the committee was a bit difficult.
Right.
But there were some things that, you know, helped Dr. Strickland kind of rise just a little higher in the eyes of the committee members.
Well, you know, it's very interesting. All five, both of you, and all three of those ladies are often on our show. And the reason is because of their involvement in the community.
Exactly.
The reason is because of their leadership skills and them really doing what it takes to make sure that women in our community are honored and valued and be able to get them into positions to be able to thrive. And so that's so very exciting. And so, Dr. Strickland, tell us a little bit about maybe the call and
Yeah.
the information that you got and then the celebration of receiving the award.
Yeah, absolutely. So, was very excited to learn that I had been nominated.
Right.
And my assistant, Crystal, is actually on the WBA, I think, board.
Yes.
Okay.
And so she said, I have some good news. You've been nominated. But there was a little bit of bad news, and it was you're going to be out of town, but you're flying back the day of the award ceremony. So let's get your flight rearranged. I was like, yes, let's do it. And so fast forward, I go
Right.
out of town on a business trip. And sure
In
enough,
your leadership role,
In
of
my
making
leadership
sure that
role,
we're
right.
helping as many people as you can really fulfill their dreams. But go ahead.
exactly,
Right.
exactly, right. And so I get to the airport and I'm a little delayed.
Oh my.
And we don't start panicking. So it looks like I'm still going to make my connection in Atlanta. Fast forward, we get delayed a little bit more and they bump my flight, but I'm still going to be back in town by about 5:30, 6 o'clock. I said I might be a little late for the dinner. And so I go running through the Atlanta airport, and I'm sure many people can relate.
Well, it's a Hertz commercial. you know?
Exactly. I get to the gate and they're just boarding.
Okay.
And so I called and I said, I'm going to make it. This is great.
Wow.
And I sit down on the plane and we sit there for a few minutes. And then the pilot comes on and says, there's something wrong with the brakes on the plane. And this can't be happening.
Right.
So long story short, we actually had to get off that plane,
Right.
Redirected to another plane. And then that plane, they couldn't start the engines electronically. So they had to take more time to start them. And I got home at about 11 p.m. that night. And I missed the whole dinner, which was devastating. But what was really fun, I just shared this story, was how I found out. Somebody texted me and they said, oh, they're reading the names of the nominees. I said, great. Anyway, nothing, radio silence. So when I landed in New Orleans, I turned back on and there was a picture of the award and they had my face on a stick. that they were taken with them, and it was the award and my face on a stick, which was pretty fantastic, and I cried.
Wow.
I cried. It was really, really special.
There's a lot of things that are important about that story. And one of it is just probably there are going to be times when we have expectations of things that we feel like we want to do and that we can't necessarily be there, but certainly being honored in that way is maybe as special, as unique as that story is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I love that you were there and present and you were doing everything in your power to get there. And maybe that's just some of the hurdles we know very often as a social worker. I know women have to often work harder and more just to find some equality, which is just terrible in our country that we still have that thought process. So I appreciate all of the effort, certainly appreciate all the work that's being done with the Women's Business Alliance and really making sure that women are honored and rewarded for the hard work that they do and honoring those people with leadership skills. So that's just really cool. What a great story, right?
It really
And so it's one of the most unique probably awards you were ever given but not given.
Yes,
Right?
exactly. Very true.
Exactly. So thank you very much for what you do in the community for both of you.
Thank you.
But thank you for sharing that great story. And so we're excited about what is to come in the future of building our community with some very strong female leadership that's always needed. And so we look forward to that as time goes by. Dr. Strickland, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for
We
being
appreciate it.
here. I really appreciate it and appreciate the honor.
Absolutely. Catherine, thank you as well.
We're honored as well to have a leader
Yep.
in our community. Like that.
Awesome. All right, guys, that will do it for this particular segment of Bayou Time. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming when we continue right here on HTV.